Hey everyone, welcome to week 3 picks of the week NFL 2025, where we're going to be choosing 5 games every single week and hopefully by the end of the year have a decent record. But let's go ahead and give you the results from last week because week 1 was atrocious, week 2 was not as bad, but it wasn't that great either. We ended up being 3-2 on winners. Unfortunately, we were 2-3 against the spread. I did do a little bit of insurance on choosing the points with the Chiefs Eagles game. I did pick the Eagles to win, but the Eagles did cover. So that's why we are 2-3 against the spread there. So 5-5 for the year. So I'm okay with that. But an atrocious 3-7 against the spread. So hopefully we'll make that up in week 3 here. Usually I would have this video on Thursday so I can pick the Thursday night football game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. So that's why I'm doing this on Friday. And we're choosing a game that's not the Thursday night football game, starting with game 1 here. Bengals at the Vikings. So Cincinnati, of course, ended up losing Joe Burrow for, I think, probably several weeks, right? They were saying possibly 3 months, which is a shame. Joe Burrow is, of course, the leader and the offensive juggernaut and powerhouse with him and Chase. However, I still think there's a better team than the Vikings. And the line is actually Minnesota -2.5, which is actually surprising to me. I would think the Bengals would be favored, but of course they're playing at home, or the Vikings are playing at home in Minnesota. Generally, that would be a 3-point favorite. So they're like a half a point dog in a sense. But I think Bengals are going to win this game outright. So I have the Bengals here winning 17-13. Not a very high scoring game. To be honest with you, J.J. McCarthy, right? He's only really had one good quarter of football, and that was against my sadly lowly Bears, where they came back and won the game. But generally, in reality, the Vikings should be an 0-2 team. So I think the Bengals overall have a better unit, a better team, even though they don't have Joe Burrow. But I think Browning is just going to do fine. And but if they unfortunately this would have been an amazing matchup because you're looking at you'll be looking at like the 2 best receivers in the game going at it, but right now they don't have anybody throwing it to them, right? So Jefferson versus Chase isn't going to be much of a thing since you have Browning and JJ McCarthy throwing. So anyway, I do have the Bengals winning 17-13, and if you want to go money line on this, you can do that. And I think it's going to be under. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, sloppy game, but the Bengals will take it on the road. Let's go ahead and move on to game 2. Game 2, we have chosen the Rams at the Eagles. So Philadelphia is doing very well right now. They are a 3.5-point favorite. They squeaked out the win. I don't say squeaked out the win. They won against the Chiefs. They covered. And I think they'll cover here at home against the Rams at 3.5. I think if it was, and I have it here very close, right? I have this as a 4-point victory, 28-24 Eagles, but it could also be a blowout as well. If the Rams do well and they're able to make a strong presence on the road, more power to them, but I'm going to have to go with the Eagles here. The defending Super Bowl champs are doing great. They've had a tough schedule, really beginning the year. But like last week, having them do a repeat of the Super Bowl, that was very interesting. But again, have the Eagles holding here at home, 28-24. The over/under is 44.5. Again, we're not going to measure that there, but I have it as an over if you guys are interested in that opinion. So Eagles taking it at home against the Rams. Let's go ahead and move on to the third game. The third game, we're going to be looking at Jets at the Buccaneers. So Tampa Bay disappointed me because they beat the Texans at home. Really kind of barely. It was a sloppy game. It was 20. They won by 3. And I'm I had more faith in the Texans, but Tampa Bay just hold true. But now you're looking at the Jets, and the Jets is definitely rough. However, it's Tampa Bay minus 6.5. That's a lot of points for this type of game here. However, I still think Tampa Bay is going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover. I think this is going to be another low-scoring game, 20-17. Bucks winning by a field goal. Justin Fields, again, being a Bears fan, I'm rooting for the kid. However, it's on a tough team, right? The Jets just hasn't been relevant for a while, and so I think again the Bucks are going to win, but they're not going to cover. So this is going to be one of those instances where the favorite isn't going to cover here, and I'm going to have them winning, but not having the 6.5 points. So Bucks by 3, 20-17 at home. Let's go ahead and move on to game 4. Are we at game 4? Yeah, game 4 here. We're going to be looking at Kansas City at the New York Football Giants, the Sunday night football game here. This was a game that I wasn't going to pick up or choose, but Kansas City minus 6.5. Again, a touchdown. Basically a touchdown line here. Are they going to win by a touchdown? And I'm going to say no. So we're going to have Chiefs winning. But again, another situation where I'm not going to have the line here. It's going to be 24-20. I think it's going to end up 24-20, but it's not going to be a close game. I think Kansas City is going to control the game. I think New York Giants going to make a comeback. Russell Wilson, of course, should have won that game against the Cowboys. With that amazing pass, pitch and catch to Malik Nabers. Nabers is now becoming, one of the premier receivers in the NFL. But I just think, again, as an overall team, I think Kansas City is still better. Kansas City does definitely have holes. I think they still probably could have won that game against the Eagles. So, all in all, I think the Chiefs is going to win at the road, 24-20, just not covering the 6.5 points. So, man, Russell Wilson's giving, I think, Giants fans some hope. But, here's also another thing. This is a 0-2 versus an 0-2. So, pretty much, if the loser is probably not going to make the playoffs, right? So, that's also a lot of stakes in this game here. So, there you have it. Yeah, 0-2 teams going at it, looking for some salvation for the playoffs here. But again, Chiefs 24-20, and I'm looking at the under, right? I'm looking at the under there. So, all right, last game, number 5 here, looking at, of course, Monday Night Football. And I don't know if I'm going to continue to do Sunday night and Monday Night Football picks on here, but, I've been doing it for 3 weeks. We might just hold on to that tradition. That's going to be the Lions at the Ravens. Interesting game, right? Here's the thing I think people got to watch out for. So the line is minus 4.5 Baltimore, as it should be. The Lions put up 50 points. But you got to remember who they put up those points against. Again, I love my Bears, but I hate my Bears as well. They got embarrassed. And that's something that you also have to take in consideration. You might go, it's going to be a super high-scoring game, which I think it still will be. But the Lions aren't going to put up 50 against the Ravens, right? So I think this is going to be I won't say a rout, but a dominating game by the Ravens. I have it at 33-24, which, yes, it is a high-scoring game. It's tough that, you had a game where, like, Derrick Henry didn't do anything or was pretty much neutralized last week, and they still won. Right, so that's scary. So if Derrick Henry ends up being at least some sort of a dangerous weapon, as he is in this game here, it could be a rout, right? It could be a rout. So I think the Ravens are going to score maybe like the first 3 positions, maybe take out to like maybe a 17-point lead right in the beginning, and then the Lions are just going to have to catch up from there. So can they do that? Sure. They still got a great offense, a lot of great weapons, but the Ravens just a better team, right? So, and I think they're, of course, like every Ravens game, the fourth quarter, they're just going to come back a little bit and keep it at least this kind of close here, 33-24. So yeah, dominant win. numbers wise, they're gonna win by 9 here is what I have here. So -4.5 they should cover, and it's actually the over as well, right? So I have 53. This is going to be 50. Oh, 57. Yeah, so I have a 57. So should be over here as well. So that's why I think in the Monday Night Football game is going to be. So let's go ahead and recap here. We have, going back up here, where am I? We're going to have Bengals beating the Vikings. We'll have Eagles beating the Rams. We got here the Bucks barely beating the Jets. We have the Chiefs winning on the road against the Giants, and then the Ravens beating the Lions. So there's my recap for you. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and hopefully I do much better this week than the last 2 weeks, but we will find out. So with that, we will catch you in the next video.